frustrated not to take something from that, Derek?
I think really pleased with how the players set about the task. You know, I think we had to show real competitiveness, tenacity, physicality, fitness, intelligence. It's not just enough to try and stop Celtic getting into some sort of groove and some sort of rhythm. It's important that we try and play off the back here. And I think we got that. It wasn't just, we asked the players to try and limit that control that they normally get, but also play off in the back here, look after the next pass, which we did time and time again. We arrived outside their box, we get more touches than I've ever seen, and when we played Celtic inside their box, I think we had twice as many as them, with twice as many shots, twice as many better opportunities, but ultimately, as good as the performance was, we just fell short with those chances. Obviously we've hit the woodwork. I think Celtic got some good blocks, one or two saves, but in the main we were still bemoaning the fact that, and you know yourself, any team that plays against Celtic, you've got to take your chances when they come along, and the goal was a blow for us right on half time. It comes when Kilmarnock can't quite get back in. He's impacted with the Achilles injury, picked up and had to come off, and we're just a wee bit in between for the first time in the game. And McGregor's allowed to lift his head, and the weight of the pass cross is magnificent. It slid off the back of our defender, and a real sucker punch, to be honest, considering the performance. Like Celtic have been getting so many plaudits of late, and rightly so. They've been a fantastic technical teams who are used to being in charge of games, and I don't think at any point they've been in charge of that. And for me, it says a lot for the players, because sometimes I just want them to get the reward for how much they put into it, and we didn't get it. We didn't, it's clear as day. But in terms of what they gave me, gave the club, was more than I could have expected, to be honest. I thought we had some top performers. Obviously we had to make a change at half time. Bruce Anderson was so unlucky not to start the game, never mind come on at half time. I need to say that, but I did want the running power and the physicality of Cameron to replace Vassell, and I thought Innes was great for me when he came on as well. And for the players not to let their heads go down after what was a disappointing ending to the first half says a lot about them, and we just kept going. We've got some key injuries, and Armstrong, Finlay, Kyle Vassell going off. It's no ideal. We're not a team that can cope too much with key players missing, but I thought we did cope today. I thought we coped well, and the second goal kills the game effectively. When there's space for Kuhn to run into, and you don't, we did so much to make sure they weren't able to play those forward passes today, and they weren't able to work that space. And we've defended admirably throughout, but once he gets the other side of the defenders, once he comes in off that right hand side, it's difficult to stop him. And we've seen Celtic swat teams away recently. We had an edited version of the video yesterday to show them. Some of my staff had showed a lot of good clips to me about how good Celtic were, and I'm like, what are we doing? We've got boys to go out and face them. We know how good they are, my boys know how good they are, but we've got to let them know how we stop them, and we've worked all week on that today. We have carried everything out. I still need the mentality and the personality of the player turning up today, and we had that in spades. So we don't play for a couple of weeks, but I'm not too down. Frustrated, Alice and I, but I'm not too down with it.
Did the players see that video? Did you show them the video, or did you stop that?
No, we showed some of the video. We show clearly we've got to, because we've got to do our work. But we showed a lot more, because you can look at, as I said to press the other day, it's like you always look at previous games that who you're coming up against and try to pick the bones of it. But you know, Aberdeen tried it, Leipzig tried it different ways. You know, I'm always curious to see how teams and managers set up against Celtic, and it's clear what the message is at times from managers, and everybody has their job to do, because they are the team that asks more of your organisation. They make the opposition player make more decisions on the pitch, and they test that. But I thought we got a lot right today, but ultimately Celtic still got away with the points, because they've punished us in two moments really, and aye, that's it.
A lot of good individual displays, Derek, but Corey and Darboll was asked a wee bit of a different job today. What did you think of him, and how good can you?
You know something, I couldn't be. I actually made a reference to that in the game. I thought Ndaba was outstanding. I really thought he was outstanding. We needed him to be a centre back. We needed him to be a midfielder. He needed to cover wide areas. He was everything really for us in terms of setting the tone, looking after the ball, the intelligence to jump at the right times, and what the reason he played in one and not at fullback, which maybe when you saw that lined up might have been a wee bit strange, was because we needed him to be half a midfielder and half a centre back, and he got that spot on. He was unlucky with a couple of attempts, but he was all over the pitch. We've signed him predominantly as a defender, but he's played a lot for me and gives us real balance at times as a midfielder, and he enjoys the role. I thought he was great throughout. So it's good for me and good for him that he got to that level against a good team, a very good team.
Was that maybe a red card for Heta?
Maybe. I'm not going to shout the odds about it. I think it would have looked pretty bad on VAR, to be honest. Because I think his foot's high, and I think he leaves his foot high. He doesn't try and withdraw it. My first thought at the time was there wasn't a lot of aggression in it, and I think the pictures would have looked worse than maybe what the tackle was. I didn't think it was a red card first viewing, but when it goes to VAR, I actually was expecting it to be red, because I think the pictures can sometimes make it look worse than it is, because you don't necessarily see the impact in it. So don't get any decisions. Celtic even decide when the minute silence stops. You know what I mean? We don't get these decisions.
What did you make of that?
I thought it was awful. Why? I'm not going to. I'm not a politician or anything, but it's our ground, it's our minute silence. I don't get why we shouldn't have the wherewithal just to stand and show a bit of respect for 1 minute.